Hi everybody, welcome to the shortest day of the year, first day of winter, or is that tomorrow, or like midnight tonight, I don't care. Earlier this year I wanted to talk about my favorites. I wanted to do favorites video, monthly or seasonally, and that actually never ended up happening. But today I want to talk about 3 products that I tried this year that I absolutely detested. So the first one is EOS lip balm, and I have seen so many makeup gurus go nuts over this thing. It's almost done. That's a hole in there because it's almost finished. See? I had a bad reaction to it, but because it was not acute, because it was very slowly growing over time, I was not able to actually detect it until 3, almost 4 months later. Actually, I threw this thing in the garbage and then I fished it out again because I wanted to make a video on it. So I got this in my Christmas stocking last year and I used it a little bit, and in retrospect I did realize that I was getting a little bit of angular cheilitis, a little bit of dryness at the very corners of my mouth there, but I thought it just had to do with the changing weather. We usually go through a thaw in January and then it gets cold again until about March, April. But I had some other lip balms that I was using, so I wasn't using this very regularly until I ran out of those other lip balms that I got from the dentist or something, and started using this almost exclusively around early September or late August. And I noticed again the angular cheilitis started and I was getting some cracking and peeling, some dryness, and it wasn't just in the lip area, it was spreading outside. And I'll try to put in a picture here, although I didn't actually take any pictures of it at its worst because I was horrified. But then it started to spread to my actual like full lip area and the skin all around it. So I was getting thickening of the skin, cracking, peeling, inflammation, dryness. For 3 months straight I could not even open my jaw fully, like without the corners of my mouth cracking and feeling like my mouth was splitting like the Joker. And because I didn't know what was causing it, I didn't know if it was some sort of infection. And I've always had really good oral hygiene. You know, I always brush 2 to 3 times a day. I floss, you know, I do all the things that I'm supposed to do, and probably then some. But I didn't know if this was a sign of thrush or if I had somehow picked up a cold sore, which would have been next to impossible because I haven't been sharing drinks or food with anybody or kissing anybody new or anything like that. But I was freaking out a little bit. I didn't know if I had caught impetigo or something. But I knew that if I went to the doctor, she probably would have just given me some sort of ointment with steroids on it, and you're not supposed to use any sort of cortisone or steroids on your face because it thins the skin, and the skin on your face is already very thin to begin with. So even though I desperately wanted to cover up the condition, I didn't use any sort of concealer on it. I actually switched my makeup even though I was not putting it on any sort of active breakout. I changed my face moisturizer, I changed my lipstick, I even changed my diet, so I cut out a lot of my sugars, refined starches, I cut out anything that was dehydrating like caffeine, started eating really clean. I started getting in more B vitamins and more of the fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, E, and D. The only thing that was consistent was my use of lip balm because I thought that the lip balm was actually going to help the condition and not make it worse. I simply thought that maybe this lip balm was not as effective as some of the other ones that I had used in the past, but I figured, you know, I already have it, I may as well use it up, and then once I finish it, I can just move on to something else. I did not know that it would actually be the cause of my rash, but I was at my wit's end and I finally decided to Google it, and I know that Googling your own medical conditions is never a good idea, and by some miracle, the very first hit that came up was a blog post complaining about EOS lip balm. Her rash looked exactly the same as mine, however, she had a more acute reaction. So I think she put this on before bed. She woke up with her lips inflamed. Mine was not that quick. It was just ongoing over time. If I had a more acute reaction, you know, if my lips started burning as soon as I put it on, maybe I would have noticed it right away. But 3 months, like, I am furious. So I'm still healing a little bit slowly, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to, you know, keep the thickened skin around there. I hope it's not going to develop any scar tissue or anything. I actually put my lip balm like slightly internal, so I look a little bit more pouty than normal because I'm actually avoiding the color bleeding into the corners of my mouth, at least until this area can clear up. Slowly, the small whiteheads that were all around my lips, around my mouth, on my normal skin, that's slowly healing as well. And after I get acne, it always goes hyperpigmented, so I hope it's not going to look like I have melasma or anything. Some people have told me that it might be the menthol, but I've used Blistex and other lip balms before with no problem. Very, very strong menthol. This is, I believe, is a strawberry, and I've yeah, there's no menthol in this, but yeah, never gonna use it again. The second worst product I tried this year was my home professional teeth whitening kit. So this gave me burnt and bleached gums. It occurred only after something like 15 to 20 minutes of use, and the instructions told me to keep it on for an hour. I did not keep it on for an hour because I was in so much pain that my blood pressure dropped and I felt like I was going to faint. The kit also came with these little boil and bite trays, and I did not use the boil and bite trays because one trial fitting in my mouth, even before I had boiled it, told me that it was not even going to fit me properly. 10 years ago, I had these professional little trays made for me by my dentist, so I knew that it was going to fit me properly and it was not going to extend onto my gum line. However, I have long teeth to begin with, and my gums kind of go up quite far in between the teeth. So normally I have the option of whitening only, the top half of my tooth and leaving I believe that's called the cingulum down here, some sort of shade of yellow, or bleaching the whole tooth and damaging my gum line in the process. But in the past, the dentist had given me a formula that was not the strongest bleach that they actually had, but it was actually quite mild. So I could wear it 8 hours or overnight. Even if it did touch my gum line, I did not get very much inflammation at all. And I would do that for about 1 or 2 weeks, and I would get to the shape that I wanted. I also had less tooth sensitivity over time. I think I tried this professional kit once or twice, and it just gave me such bad tooth sensitivity for over a week. The formula bubbled over because it was so high in peroxide. As soon as it touched any sort of water, it would bubble over, and that's why it was spilling over onto my gum line. My weaker formula never did that. So I would rather actually be more patient, have a weaker formula, wear it for longer, and not have irreversible gum damage and receding over time, as opposed to picking up one of these things that are actually more expensive than the whitening kit I got from my dentist. And it has a promise to whiten your teeth in 3 to 7 days, but it actually ended up damaging my mouth. So if you're looking online for any sort of generic whitening kit and it's over $100, my professional trays and my kit from my dentist was $100 Canadian, not US. So, it's not worth it just to go with the generic ones. You want a hygienist to actually look at your teeth, tell you if there's anything wrong with your enamel, if you have thin enamel, if you're a good candidate for whitening in the first place, or if you have too much tooth sensitivity, if you have any issues with your gum line. They would be able to tell you that sort of thing. Some people selling a kit, they're not going to. So, yeah, useless. And the last worst product that I will probably never wear again are locally purchased bras. Because of it, I have scarring on the outside and on the inside of my breast. Now, notice that I didn't necessarily say cheap bras because I still wear my Genie bras. And I think those are like $10 each or something like that. I still wear them all the time. But these ones that are purchased locally from places like Senza and Victoria's Secret, I am never going to wear it again because I always have to buy the largest cup in the smallest band that I can possibly find, and it's still like floating away from me. And a few years ago I used to say that I was the type of person who could not wear a so-called properly fitting bra where the gore was tacking because I have a freakishly high xiphoid process. So that means that my solar plexus, basically the unprotected part of my upper abdomen right here that is not covered by my sternum or bone or anything, comes up very, very high. So if I'm wearing any sort of plunge bra or a non-supportive bra that is also pressing into my body because of a tight band, it makes me very uncomfortable, not only physically but psychologically, because I feel like the underwire is going to stab me in the solar plexus. And basically my last straw was the last time I got an x-ray, and they were taking pictures of my lumbar area, but because of the size of the x-ray, it was actually showing a bit of my breast tissue, and I was wearing my underwire bra. And I realized that my breast root was here and my underwire was here, and because my breasts are rather dense, I could actually see a little bit of the outline of my breast tissue on the x-ray, and I could see that I was getting zero support from it whatsoever. It was basically just covering it and giving it a different shape. And then I went to England, and then I discovered Bravissimo, and then I got a fitting, and I realized that a properly fitting bra can indeed be comfortable, because what I discovered was I need balconette bras. Basically, the plunge bras are what's uncomfortable for me, but the balconette bras, they come up so high in the middle that they actually cover my xiphoid process, and they're not going to stab me into my solar plexus, and it's amazing. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And I realized that bras in my actual size are not very expensive at all. I think this one was less than 30 pounds, which worked out to about $50 here. And this one was 40, so, you know, something that doesn't fit at all and actually gave me scarring on my body, as opposed to something that actually fits me, and I only pay $10 more. Obviously, I have to buy it when I'm in England, which is expensive, but they do ship. So I would much rather have something that's comfortable and I can wear all the time and is actually supportive and doesn't give me scarring, and, you know, pay just a tiny bit more for it. But that's just my opinion. These, no. I'll use that actually to experiment on future cupped corsets, because using the pre-formed cups is actually a lot easier, even though it doesn't fit me, but yeah. This was good. I liked doing this. It was very cathartic. I should do it more often. I will also do favorites. For instance, what I'm wearing right now, this is probably my favorite jewelry set that I got this year. It's from Vanyanis, and it has her little engraved busk loops on it. But yeah, I will do a favorites later on, but doing the worst products I've tried this year was actually a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. Let me know what were the worst products you tried in 2015, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.